So who is Alex Jones? Alex has been at the forefront of exposing government corruption for more than 15 years. Alex Jones broadcasts his daily radio station, The Alex Jones Show, as well as maintains his two websites, Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.tv. Aside from being a radio talk show host, Alex has produced and directed numerous films. His documentaries reveal the true agenda of the globalist New World Order, the increasing police state, the 9/11 cover-up, and many other topics the mainstream media refuses to cover. It is because of the incredible evidence that Alex Jones brings forth that the establishment has demonized and censored him. This video is for the mainstream media to see that Alex Jones has been right in predicting the events that they have been given orders to either downplay or follow up with misinformation.
My name is Alex Jones. I'm a radio and television host in Austin, Texas. And for many years, I've been exposing the criminal activities of the global elite, otherwise known as the New World Order.
The first prediction I present to you is the DC Magnum case, March 13th, 2008. Deborah Jean Palfrey was threatening to release information of her escorting service clients after being accused of racketeering. She said on air, "I will never commit suicide," as a reassurance to Alex Jones. Palfrey alleged she was being harassed and followed. Later, before going to court, Palfrey was found dead. Her death was ruled a suicide on May 1st, 2008.
Conviction for money laundering and racketeering in connection with the high-profile escort service she ran, catering to Washington's movers and shakers, including Senator David Vitter. Deborah was asked by syndicated radio host Alex Jones if she was planning on committing suicide.
No, I'm not planning to commit suicide. I'm planning to go into court on April 7th, and I plan on exposing the government in ways that, I do not think they want me to expose them.
Joining me now from Austin, Texas, the well-known radio host himself, the conspiracy theorist and documentary filmmaker, Alex Jones.
She was a very nice lady, very genteel. There's no doubt in my mind that she was murdered. Let me just go through some of the basic evidence. She told me repeatedly on my radio show, and those interviews are posted at Infowars.com in full, that she would never kill herself, that she wasn't planning to kill herself. I pressed her during breaks in front of the board ops. I said, listen, this is dangerous. You've got to say who these people were. Do you know? And she said, well, I'm not going to say. I just want this all to end. And I said, you've got to say who it was or you're not safe. She said, listen, I'll never kill myself. If they claim that, I was murdered. So we have a tape of her saying she wouldn't commit suicide.
Next, we'll be looking at the Hutari militia case. After the mainstream media covered the militia movement, Alex Jones had an Ohio militia member on his show on July 25th, 2001. He warned him of possible federal agent infiltration as a means of accusing militias of terrorism. On April 2010, it came to pass that a Michigan militia group was being accused of terrorism. They were assisted by an undercover federal agent. Once trials were underway, the evidence brought forth was unable to prove that they were a threat without the help of the undercover agent.
The individual we're about to interview for the next 30-40 minutes or so, he's Pale Horse. Tell us a little bit about yourself and about your militia and what you guys stand for.
We're just a militia group like any other group. I started in the Washington State militia, and then upon moving back to Ohio, which is my native state, I began training with the Michigan militia, and I just got real proactive in the movement.
My issue is, I've always told the militia, you're constitutional, you're wonderful, you're the salt of the earth. We should be mainline and run for sheriff and have it be shooting enthusiast clubs. So any group that's hiding in secret and telling you to sneak around in the bushes with them, though, is going to be filled with feds, and they're going to try to provocateur you and plant pipe bombs on you. It's just the feds operate in secrecy. They love secret militias that get seduced into doing things illegal. So the minute you're ever in a militia and hear somebody say, let's go case out the police station, you know immediately that's a federal informant.
Drew, was this group a real threat?
Anderson, I don't want to minimize what the prosecutors say these guys said. The undercover agent infiltrated this group, trained with them. They certainly looked really scary. But as the details, the onion began to get peeled back, but deep down, I really, after being on this story for like 3 days, I don't think these people have the capability to do much at all. Several details in this case talk about how you know, they couldn't get the bomb-making material. They couldn't get the bombs to work. The undercover agent actually had to assist them in trying to help them, to show them how to make these things. The facts are, Anderson, that they did confiscate 37 guns, but they aren't charged with having any illegal possession of guns. They did confiscate some bomb-making materials or material that could be used to make bombs, but again, there are no bomb charges here. It's a conspiracy case. The attorneys, the court-appointed attorneys, all say, look, this is a free speech case. And that's what it's going to come down to.
The final and probably most important prediction that Alex Jones has ever said has to deal with the September 11 attacks. On July 25, 2001, Alex Jones accuses our government of wanting to stage terrorist attacks. He specifically calls out bin Laden. A few months later, the towers came down, and Osama was the boogeyman.
Tyranny is enveloping the globe. And the United States is a shining jewel the globalists want to bring down. And they will use terrorism as the pretext to get it done. Toll-free number up for Congress. And I won't want you to believe Alex Jones. I want you to go get these news stories off my website. I want you to call these major newspapers. I want you to find out if any terrorism comes, it's from this government. And if there was an outside threat like a bin Laden, who was a known CIA asset in the 80s, running the Mujahideen war, and whose family builds all the military bases over in Saudi Arabia right now, and sits on the board of Iridium Satellite. He's the boogeyman they need. That's our White House numbers up there now. A big part of this solution, after you research all the government terrorism and check out what I'm saying is true, call the White House and tell them, we know the government's planning terrorism. We know Oklahoma City and World Trade Center was terrorism. We know the Joint Chiefs of Staff wanted to blow up airliners, Baltimore Sun. If you do it, we're going to blame you because we know who's up to it. Or if you let some terrorist group do it, like the World Trade Center, we know who to blame.
Officials say they have now picked up what one official calls significant indicators that the suicide planes were hijacked by members of Al-Qaeda, the terrorist group that reports to Osama bin Laden. Sources described the intelligence as communications intercepts and said they're not definitive, but they are persuasive. Sensing that bin Laden would quickly become a suspect.
Alex Jones is no prophet. He merely reads the elite's own document and follows their trends. For those of you still in doubt, I challenge you to look at history, check the facts, do the research, and realize that the government does not have our best interests in mind. Learn more at Infowars.com.
And I should only go get upset about my favorite football team winning or losing. Listen, I know what tyranny means. I know the bankers are putting poison in our food and water. I know the bankers have stolen $8.5 trillion. I know we're under War Powers Act. I know they're hurting us. I know they're carrying out New World Order. I know they staged those terror attacks. You know what it's like to gut up to this and go out every day and go past the peer pressure and come out day one and say 9/11 was an inside job and lose most of the radio stations I was on? You know what it's like to go to sleep every night knowing you work for a bunch of psychotic killers and you bastards are probably going to end up killing me one day? You know what it's like knowing you've ruined my life? You know what it's like, you sons of bitches? I'm tired of your crap. You commit evil, you're part of an evil system, and we're standing up against you. And the Republic is going to defeat you in the end.